Yes, yes, yes. Come on in, baby, because it's a winning Wednesday, and I'm so excited to be here. Y'all know these interviews have been so fire. They have been so good. These queens, these authors, they have been dropping gems left and right. They've been giving us wisdom. They have been, helping us to see things from different perspectives because we are all trying to heal for real this time. And in doing so, that's how we become her. That's how we become. For the men, become him. Because even though I say all the time, becoming her, there's some men out there who have dealt with some things. And so they're just trying to become the best versions of themselves, too. So in these stories, in these interviews, you're going to get something out of there too. Don't think it's just for the ladies because when you're grown and mature and you're trying to grow, you can find something out of anything from anybody. When the word is for you, it's just for you. So we've had some powerful ladies on this platform. They have been coming in and they have been sharing testimonies and just thought leaders, showing up in their space. And I love it because it's just taking it to a whole nother level. So what you read as far as their chapter, that's one thing. But when you get to hear them really talk about life and how life has, taken them different places, and then you get to find out, wow, you've been going through this or you dealt with that. OMG, I never knew. And so that's why these interviews are so great, so important. And again, these are interviews with the co authors of the anthology, Her, Unshakable, Unbreakable, and Unstoppable. And I'm telling you, that is a winning combination. So if you have not yet arrived there, get in where you fit in because we're about to take the journey to our next guest. I want you all to give it up for none other than, yay, Latoya Jackson, baby, yay.
Thank you.
Latoya, how
Hey,
are
hey.
you? How are
Hey, how
you?
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And I'm excited to see you here. I'm excited to have you come on and share because, all these beautiful ladies tell me all the time, like, okay, I'm not sure. Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. It's one thing to write behind the scenes and then come on here. But when I tell y'all, Latoya is one of the most inspirational people that
Oh,
I know
thank
of. She is always, uplifting people and motivating them and encouraging them and inspiring them. And she has her own women's group. And I'm going to even put it out there to say that Latoya beautifies everything that she does. And what I mean by that is she can take a space, baby, and transform it because she's doing events, and so she just makes everything prettier. And so Latoya, even with your spirit, it does the exact same thing. It is actually
thank you.
a beautiful spirit. So you're beautiful inside and out. And I'm glad you're here. And all the people out here saying, hey, 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 Sparkle is here. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey,
Hey,
Cynthia.
hey.
She said, Latoya, hey, congratulations, beautiful.
Thank you.
So we are excited to have all of the support that we get from the other co-authors as we're talking today. So Latoya, let's back it up because you're not what they say, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this.
Hmm.
Because you've done multiple anthologies, right?
I have.
So share with the people what those experiences have been like for you writing with other people and sharing your story on multiple occasions.
Let me ask, can you hear that beat? My camera keep going off. Can you hear that in my microphone? Okay.
I can't.
Yeah. My ring camera keep going off for some reason. Um, but for my experience from writing from starting 2020 has been when I say amazing experience,
Mm.
um it's been an experience, through my still seasons,
Mm-hmm.
my experience of meeting different like-minded women, um even observing and looking how people move and how people respond. um it's been a great experience for me because I didn't find myself until the pandemic. It's been a great seasons let me say that
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning, from the first anthology, Broken Crayon Still Color, even from meeting you in 2020 in life coaching, it's been a great
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah.
uh there's something that I have done. It's something that I've always wanted to do, was to inspire and help other women. And along the journey, I had to take a couple of seats, which is as they call it, still seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and finding my peace, finding my purpose, just staying, keeping my mind focused, keeping my mind clear after,
Mm-hmm.
a few years of going through some health issues. And it's been a roller coaster. I done had some ups and downs. I done had a lot of experiences, good and bad. But
Yeah.
through it all, I'm still here. God has kept me. By the grace of God, I'm so grateful and I'm thankful. But my pain has turned into my purpose. And my purpose is
Yeah.
just me speaking. And I know that's my purpose. And I've said that in a couple of my anthologies. I know that that is my purpose, is speaking and helping other women and men find a loving peace within themselves. And it's just been a great experience. But this last season was a season, I mean, one for the books.
One for the books. I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you how Latoya started off her chapter, which her chapter title is "I Am Her." So when we
Mhm.
talk about becoming her,
Yeah.
Latoya said, "Baby, I am her." She started off by saying, after writing 4 books and creating a 30-day affirmations journal, I still felt like I was not
Yeah.
a girl. I started writing my story in December of 2020 during the pandemic. The
Mhm.
book, Broken Crown Still Color. I was a co-author of the book along with so many other amazing authors who inspired me to keep writing and continue sharing my story to help other women and men overcome their brokenness and fears. I went to so many different events trying to find my way. Throughout my journey, I met some great sisters as I was doing speaking engagements, life coaching, writing my books, leading my women's groups, and getting into the room with millionaires during the pandemic and throughout the years. All
Mhm.
the while, I was trying to find me. I had a few still seasons where I had to take a break and listen to God and His plan for my life. Yeah,
Yes.
I said a few still seasons. Let's talk about the still seasons. I see even Sparkle, came back and said, yes, still seasons. Let's talk about what that is, Latoya.
Um, when we wrote the anthology in 2023, I went through a still season before writing that book. You was a part of that chapter with me in that book. Um, God came to me, he told me, he was like, how can you be out here helping other women overcome their brokenness when I was not completely healed? And
Mm,
for me, I listened to God, and I heard God say to me that I needed to transform, that I needed to believe, and I needed to listen. And for me, there was a healing season.
mhm,
And for me, that was like, okay, Toya, I'm helping so many other women to overcome their brokenness, but I was not completely healed. And it was a still season for me. And then we wrote the, anthology of Finding Love and Peace Within.
mhm,
And even going through that, there was a time in my life where, I came out of that still season feeling like I was completely healed.
mhm,
uh just a few days after we had our book release, you was there, when we had our book release.
mhm,
And God set me back. I had another health scare where I was in the hospital, emergency surgeries, at like 2 emergency surgeries, I think within 2 weeks. So
wow,
again, not only did God want me to heal from within, of letting go of my past and bringing so many baggage along with me, but God wanted me to heal from within with, my health. I was
mhm,
overdoing it. I was overworking myself, people pleasing. And I had put that in a book about people pleasing, but still,
mhm,
you just don't even realize some of the things that we do. And God told me, he was like, I need you to stop. And that was one of my still seasons, after I thought I came out of a still season of writing, finding love and peace within. But God's like, no, like, you fully got to heal and stop trying to do so much. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to do so much, helping everybody, decorating, catering, doing my jobs
Mhm.
on the side, home health, just so many things. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I had just became a grandmother. I was just doing so many things. And God told me, He's like, you need to heal completely, but you need to stop. But it was a physical healing for me because going through that process and that time in my life, there was a scary moment when, you hear from the physicians that, you got to slow down, like you're really sick. So I just kept pushing myself. And, for me, I know that pushing is a word that I use all the time, is to, keep pushing, because for me, that's encouragement. That's for me to go and to keep doing the things that I'm doing, to stay
Right.
focused. And but in that still season, God will show us when, like, you need to stop, just not for, healing and helping others, but to, take care of your body. And that's something that I've done. And going into 2024, I lost a lot of weight. I was like, okay, God, I was overweight. I wasn't 291 pounds then, but I was like 265, 270. And God
Mhm.
told me, like, you may feel okay, you may look okay, but I wasn't, mentally, I was not there healing myself and listening to God. And God, I had a setback, and it was one of my still seasons that I had.
Mm. And you know what,
Mhm.
Latoya, what I was thinking about when you were saying about, losing the weight. And sometimes it's easy to see exterior weight, and you say,
Mhm.
okay, well, I can measure that. I can get on the scale and see, I can measure that because I can put on my
Mhm.
clothes and they feel big, right?
Mhm.
But what about the weight that's in your mind, in your emotions,
Yes.
in your heart? We
Mhm.
don't really think about that because a lot of times we're so used to carrying it
Yeah.
that we don't think about how heavy those burdens are, how heavy that hurt or that drama or trauma or
Mhm.
toxicity or dysfunction or whatever it is that you've been holding on to.
Mhm.
That is something that everybody else can't always see. Not when you're wearing a smile, not when they're asking you how you doing, Queen, and your first response is, "Oh, well, I'm good,"
Yep.
because that's what we tend to do.
Mhm.
And for you, you said something I learned in my still season. Stop looking at everybody else's journey and
Yes.
start focusing on your own journey. You never
Mhm.
know what someone has been through or is going through.
Yes.
Everyone's journey is different. We
It
all
is.
wear them differently. We all face challenges
Mhm.
differently.
We do.
That's a powerful thing for people to understand when we talk about becoming her. Become you, not a
Mhm.
version of somebody else that you like or not somebody else's, because God created us all differently. So,
Mhm.
how are you able to? Because I know you got that beautiful grandbaby.
Oh
So,
yeah.
when you're looking at, talking to her and bringing her up or whatever, what would you
Mhm.
tell your grandchild about becoming who she is?
Um. That right there is something that I talk to her kind of daily. I haven't talked to her today, but I always tell her that she's beautiful no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Um Trying to figure herself out even at 4 years old. She just turned 4. And I always tell her to be who she is. And her personality is, I mean, everybody says she's got my personality. I don't see it, but everybody says she's got my personality. She loves the camera. She don't meet a stranger. She loves to dance. She loves to sing. She loves to talk, and I'm a talker. And but in that was something that I learned in my still season. I wasn't talking, and a lot of people don't know that I wasn't talking. And I tell Leah all the time, do what it is that you love doing. And she always call me granny. I got to
Mm-hmm.
share a video that she shared to me yesterday. She FaceTimed me a video, and I opened it up. I thought it was just a message. She said, Granny, she said, I love you, Granny. And I was like, oh, but she picks up on everything. And I just want her to fully love herself at the age of 4, growing into her childhood, starting pre-K this year, just being, who she is, and just loving me, because that's my grandbaby. That's my reward. I call myself Granny because I didn't have any little girls. I have 2 sons, and
Right.
that right there, that was, she melts my heart. She is my heart. And I can go on and on about Leah.
I know how because Miss Leah is
I can go
something
on
else,
and on
baby.
about Leah.
Listen,
But when I
y'all can go to
say
Latoya's page and look at Leah, baby. Leah is, honey, some she has a whole personality for real. Like she's
yes,
such a beautiful little girl and
yeah,
full of life, and I love it. Hey, Ray, what's going on, bro? And the
yes.
thing about it is, Latoya, when we talk about becoming her, so the great thing is when you look at your grandbaby, you can tell her all the things that you can think about
Mhm.
on how amazing she is, how wonderful she is, how
Mhm.
beautiful she is, that life is ahead of her and she can be whatever and whomever she wants to be.
Yes.
But it's
Mhm.
hard for us to take that for ourselves.
And she knows, children can pick up on a lot of things. And when they do come, they come every Friday. They don't live here. When they come every Friday, and when I do see her, at events or special occasions, or
Mm-hmm.
even through FaceTime, she knows when something's bothering me, or she knows when something's wrong.
Yeah.
She'll be like, "Granny, you okay? What's wrong, Granny?" And and I love that about her and my children and my husband. They know when something is not right. And for
Mm-hmm.
Leah to be 4, Leah knows when something is wrong with her granny.
Wow, isn't that something? But it's the perception, they can pick
Yeah.
up, the difference
Mm-hmm.
in how you act.
Yep.
So, with that being said, when we start talking about becoming her, and I know one of the things you used to say all the time is focus is key. But you
Mm-hmm.
got to focus on you. You got to focus
Yes.
on, giving from
Mm-hmm.
a full cup, not
Mm-hmm.
an empty cup.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And for me, I wrote that in one of my anthologies. I don't know which book it was, but I wrote about that and I spoke about that a while ago. Before I lost, some of the weight that I've lost over
Mhm,
70 pounds. But when I start losing the weight, it was a different kind of weight that lifted off of me when I let go of my past.
mhm,
When I let go of my hurt, when I let go of, when my ex-husband abandoned me and my 2 sons, and when God told me, I've given you everything that was taken from you, I replaced it because I have a husband now that loves me for all of me. He loves my children as his own because he don't have any kids. And God told me, he's like, you got to accept the things that I have given you. And I fully let that go. And there was a different weight lifted from me because when I say I
mhm,
came into my marriage broken, and my husband, he know that. But when I fully let go of my past, when I fully let God in, it was a different kind of weight lifted from me. And I wrote that in one of my other anthologies. And when I say it's a different kind of feeling, peace, I mean, I can't even explain, that I'm at peace. And
mhm,
another thing for me, um I observe and I watch people around me, the people that's close to me. I will watch in my still season how people responded,
mhm.
how people react. So, there was another reason, of me writing this chapter here, because people feel like that you're not good enough or you're not good enough as them, or and I was looking at myself like, oh well, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, but God said, you just as good, so in
Mhm.
my still season, God had to show me that you are who you are, I'm me.
Right.
And I've had so many people reach out to me, by me being mute, where
Mhm.
am I, why am I not speaking, why am I not sharing, why am I not writing, but there was a process that I had to go through and to heal. And but when you reached out to me a few months ago, I needed that because I had already been talking to Coach T,
Mhm.
which is a part of our anthology
Right.
and Find
Right.
Love and Peace Within. She always encouraged me to keep going, like, where are you at? Like, we need you. And when you reached out, and it was nothing but God, because that was my prayer. And I told y'all, like, that was my prayer. And I
Mhm.
needed that because God, it's okay for us to be in the still season, but he don't want us to stay there. And as I mentioned
Absolutely.
before, I let my fire get low.
Yeah.
I wasn't staying close to the fire. And
Mm.
I distanced myself not just from other authors in the book, close friends. I even distanced myself from family because going through that season that I had last year, just being out with my family, I had 2 strokes, and that right there was something that I can't even explain, that I don't wish on nobody.
Yeah.
And God told me, he was like, I'm keeping you. But for me, I just feel like that I went through that, for a healing process as well. And
Mhm.
through it all, God has kept me, but I learned through that journey. Um, I don't let people get so close to me, and it's not in a mean way. It's not in a
Mhm.
bad way. It's in a good way.
Because you're
Um,
protecting your peace.
that
You're protecting
yes, mm-hmm,
the essence of who you are, because
yes,
again, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but one of the things, even in starting out, you said, I was overwhelmed, overworking myself, people pleasing, still putting everything and everyone before me,
mm-hmm,
taking everybody's phone calls, coaching people for free, and ultimately still putting myself
mm-hmm,
last.
mm-hmm,
And you know what? And the thing about it, Latoya, when people know that you do that, they always come because they know that you're going to put them
yep,
first. They know that
mm-hmm,
you're going to self sabotage what
mm-hmm,
you got going on to make sure that they're good.
yeah,
And when people get in certain periods of their life, it's all about them. So they don't care
mm-hmm,
that you're
yeah,
overwhelmed or you're stressed out. They just need
mm-hmm,
Toya to be there. Toya, can you come do this for me? Toya, can you show up here? Toya, can you pick this person up? Toya, what about this? What about that? I
mm-hmm,
need, can you help? Whatever. And because you're such
mm-hmm,
a giver by nature, you keep showing up for
mm-hmm,
everybody, but you wasn't showing up for you.
yep. And that was me, showing up for everybody else, and not putting myself first. Even though I would speak my affirmations of self care and self love,
Hmm.
and but still, I was still putting everything and everybody else before me. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful thing. And I mean, you know what? It's a fitting thing because when we talk about becoming her, or even for the men becoming him,
Hmm.
what are you doing that? Because when you take on other people's problems, that's heavy. And we try to, help them or make it right or be there or be supportive and be
Hmm.
encouraging. But a lot of times you're picking up things that really aren't yours to carry.
Yes. And a lot of things we carry around other people problems, of other people weight. Um, for me, just carrying on so much, because I'm a lover and I'm a giver, and I
Hmm.
just have that loving spirit. And in that season, working, catering, doing everything that I was doing, even caring for my clients, and I have a heart of caring for folks. And I had a client, and I got so attached to her,
Hmm.
and when I was sitting with her, just like, a family member. And
Hmm.
then, like I said, we were just out one day, just, enjoying the day, out shopping, having a great day with my family. And it hit me all of a sudden, no warning, nothing. I just got dizzy. And I told my husband, I was like, we may need to go get something to eat. 'Cause we had breakfast and everything. And during that time, when I had those strokes, I don't have high blood pressure. My strokes came from stress.
Wow.
So that's why I come I tell women now, and I tell people, even men, even my children, even my husband, I tell him all the time, don't overwork himself.
Hmm.
Because we can have stress within us and we don't even know that we're stressing. I was
True.
carrying on so much, and my heart was not, at that time and at that moment, I had two strokes, and it was due to stress.
Mm.
Um, the doctors came back and they was like, "You don't have high blood pressure." They was like, "Are you stressed?" And I'm like, "I didn't think that I was." So we have stress within our bodies, and we don't even know it. We carry on so much. We overwork ourselves. We're doing two and three jobs and two and three things at a time, and
Hmm.
just trying to
Not
carry
getting enough
on and do
sleep, not
everything.
eating
And
well, not exercising, not all the
yes.
knots,
Mm-hmm.
all the knots for the sake of saying, I'm showing
Yes.
up and I'm being there, and all the while,
Mm-hmm.
it's taking a toll on you.
It is. And that's what happened because I don't have high blood pressure. Mine came from the heart. I walk around in right now and I have an implant in my chest. I have a monitor that monitors
Mhm.
my heart because of the stress, because they
Wow.
said mine came from the heart.
Wow.
And if I hadn't have paid no attention to my body, and if I hadn't have listened to the EMT guy that came. My niece called 911. They came to the store and picked me up, and he checked. I thought my blood sugar was dropping because I was taking insulin, but during the weight loss and all that, I had had to take insulin, and
Hmm.
came off of insulin. probably about almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he tapped me on my leg and he was like, "Your blood sugar's fine." He's like, "I think you need to go get evaluated." So, as men and women, even young adults, we got to listen to our body. When we feel like, oh, we got a headache, or I'm just dizzy, I need to sit down. We need to listen. And I'm glad that I did listen to him, and I'm glad that I listened to my body. And
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 strokes at that time, just out enjoying the day. And now,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I pay close attention to my body. I'm more up on my health more than I have ever been. I just turned 48,
Mm-hmm.
and turning 48 was a fear for me because my mom passed at 47, and I
Right.
had my strokes at 47. So this is a whole nother story. This is a whole nother, it's a whole nother chapter.
And you know what, Toya? What people don't realize when you hit that age of you're somebody that you love
Hmm.
or is super close to you,
Yes.
even when you may think, okay, well, I'm good, and whatever,
Hmm.
in the back of your mind, it's a dread, like, okay, I'm coming up on that age.
Hmm.
Ooh, I don't know, Lord, and like you
Yeah.
say, you don't even realize the stress and the strain you're putting on your heart. You don't
Eh,
realize
yes. Hmm.
what you're carrying
That's a
being
lot.
worried about that. It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. When I turned 47, I was like, okay, I made it to 47, and going through that year of just hitting 47. And it was just a few months when I had the strokes. And my mom passed away at 47. And my mom had a few strokes before she passed. So when
Ooh,
I tell y'all that that was a fear, there was
ooh.
something
Mm-hmm.
that I can't explain. And I'm like, my mom died, probably 5 months before her 48th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just turned 47. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Lord, and it was a fear because I was wondering, like, am I going to live to see 48? And, my mom had those strokes. My mom went through that. My dad, had strokes before he passed away. And it was just something that I, was, and I didn't even know that I was really just stressing and, carrying that around with me. And it just, and I worried myself to where I had 2 strokes. And we don't even know that we're really stressing. And I didn't think that I was stressing. It was a fear of me, am I going to live to see 47? Am I going to live to see 48? But God, He brought me through. And since then, God told me, He's like, I kept you for a reason, because you
Yeah.
got to share your testimony because I've shared so much over the years of going through brokenness and overcoming things and finding myself and just, becoming the woman that I am. And then too in that season and in those still seasons, I just still felt like that I was not her. And then when you brought this to me and I prayed about it and God told me, He said, transform, believe, and listen. And then
Mm,
that's when God told me, you are her. And so that's how I came up with the name of my chapter, I Am Her.
I am her.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. One of the
Yeah.
things that you said towards the end is that wear your smile with gratitude and
Mm-hmm.
walk fully in your purpose. Walk
Mm-hmm.
in your confidence. Let go of procrastination, unhealthy relationships, overworking yourself, doubt, fear, and negative self talk. Remember, you are her. Speak greatness over your life and start today. Go on
Mm-hmm.
and start now. Face
Yeah.
yourself. Don't be afraid of yourself. Love on yourself because self care and self love matter. Be the best version of you because you
Yes.
turn your pain into purpose. You
Mm-hmm.
said, God has kept me and carried me through some tough times, but I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
I'm healed and I am her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Period. Listen, Toya is a busy person, baby, and we're gonna, wrap this on up because we at the 30-minute mark. But what I wanted to do was give you an opportunity to spotlight and whatever you want to share with the audience, whether it's about the chapter, about the book, about life in general. I want you
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead and share it.
Okay. I'm not gonna be long. I just want to say, um, as I mentioned, as Angela just read in the last, it was the last page of my book and my chapter. Don't be afraid of yourself because that was me. Um, Sometimes, procrastination, unhealthy relationships, self-doubt, negative, self-talk, a lot of things get in our way, but I just want to say to you men, to you women, to you young people, don't be afraid of yourself. Don't be afraid of your gifts. Use your gifts. Let God use you. Let God speak through you, and just continue to walk in your journey. And we all have one. We all have a journey. We all have a testimony. And what God told me is, um, as I wrote in my chapter, to walk fully in my confidence, because I felt like that I didn't have the confidence that I thought that I had when I wrote my first book, when I wrote my second book, when I wrote my journal. But God told me to walk fully in my confidence. So I just want to share to you all is to fully walk in your confidence, and don't be afraid of it. Walk in your confidence and turn your pain into your purpose, because that's something that I have done. And it's just, me. I'm so grateful and thankful, and just becoming the best version of myself. And that's something that I told myself long time ago, which was in my still season. um I am enough. And no matter what someone else says, I had to tell myself, Toya, you are enough. Walk in your purpose. Keep sharing your story. um get close to the fire. Don't let your fire get low, and to stay focused, because focus is the key.
Because focus is the key. And I love, don't lose your fire, don't lose your passion for
Mhm.
what your purpose is. And I think for so many people, especially women, we get so caught up wearing so many
Mhm.
hats that we lose ourselves
We
and we
do.
forget that we
Mhm.
have a love for whatever it is, love for
Yeah,
singing or painting or, crafting or whatever it is. We lose that a lot of times. And
we do.
so don't lose yourself.
Mhm.
See, you thought, I don't know what you was thinking, but I told you this was going to be great. And this is going to be, look, Cheryl said yes. I'm telling you, they were in the chat. I meant to go back because Lakeisha said it was an honor to work with you on two
Oh
projects.
yes. Yes, it was. It was great working with Keisha and you all. When I say it's just been amazing. I was just, because when I messaged you this morning, I was like, I know I picked this date. I'm thinking, give me enough time, and I was
Hmm.
like, I have not did a live in over a year. I have not did a live interview, and I was just all day like, Lord, just praying, but it turned out great, and I'm
It
grateful, and I'm thankful that I did
Yes, because
it.
somebody needed to hear that. You know
Yes.
exactly what you said, because the reality
Mhm.
is to look at you. I think it's Joy's chapter is I don't like what I've been through.
Mhm.
And you do not look like what you've been through.
Mhm. Thank you.
Somebody could look at you right now and say, a stroke, when? What? Where?
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's the testimony of God, how He brought you
Mhm.
through to say that I let that happen, but I
Mhm.
also brought you through
He
for you to
did.
understand that there's purpose all over you and to make sure that when you're taking care of everybody else, always take care of you too.
You got to take care of yourself. You do. Yeah.
You do, for sure.
Yes,
Latoya,
ma'am.
thank you so much for being here. We
Thank
appreciate the
you.
time because I know you're still out here doing things. So thank you so much. You want to share? I know you have a women's group. I know you have, ways to get in contact with you so
Mhm.
you can, check out your other books. Anything you want to share, contact wise.
Yes, I do have a women's group, Women of Peace on Facebook, and Table Talk. And Table Talk, I haven't did Table Talk in over a year, and it's just a group of women that we come and we just vent, and we just release of the things that is bothering us, or daily routines, and daily lives of work, just something that I brought a group of women together, and we just help one another. We do outreach as well.
Okay.
And Women of Peace is just for women to come in and to just find a love and peace within themselves. And because for me, I wore a mask for so long. I painted on a smile for so long. And my sister Jamaica Towns would always tell me, like, you got a purpose. Like, you got a purpose.
Yeah.
And I started the women's group, Women of Peace. And it's called WAP. And when I tell you, it's a great group. And I gotta
Mhm.
get back more active. I'm active in it, but it's not as active as I thought, because when I went in that still season, I kind of just delayed everything, even though I
Right.
would post here and there, but I know God is fully wanting me to get back to what my calling is. Yeah.
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 Yeah, absolutely. Because you are an inspiration to a lot of ladies. And so,
Thank you.
I know that Everything is in God's timing. So when
Oh
the
yeah.
time comes and you're ready, then that's
Hmm.
going to be when He's ready for you to do it. So
Hmm.
we're
Yes.
all looking for it and all cheering you on and all, honey,
Thank
knowing
you.
that whatever it is, greatness will unfold. And so if you don't know Toya, you need to connect with her and get in that group and because peace, baby, there's nothing like peace.
Oof.
There's nothing like
Nothing like it.
it's
Mm-mm.
not. So get with these ladies, honey. Get with the WAP, baby, the women of peace. Yes. Get with them. Toya, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I love you much. And
Yes, I love you.
y'all come
Yes.
on back because y'all know that we're ending up. So this is just Wednesday. We still got Thursday and Friday, and then we got
Yeah.
all next week to catch the rest of the ladies. So I'm telling you, it has been
Yes.
fire on top of fire, and it's been revelations and inspiration and gems and nuggets and truths being dropped because y'all are coming on being your authentic self and letting people know that, you know what, regardless of where you are and where you've been,
Mm.
you can still become her.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye.